afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, another fantastic Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 versus 1 on Langres. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, Langres. We shall be watching Stephenn, JF, fighting versus Helpinghans. This is going to be one hell of a fight right here on Langres. Two good players shall be taking each other on in a brutal match for dominance and victory. Stephenn, JF, fighting for the Americans, taking on the fight for the 2nd Infantry Division, going up against Helpinghans, ever so helpful Hansi, fighting for the 17th SS Panzer Grenadier Division Götz von Berlichingen, the only Panzer Grenadier Division, by the way, to fight in Normandy. So, little fun fact there already. We are seeing a 2-engineer, 2-pioneer start from both players. First Grenadier is on the way for Helpinghans. He's not going up for the MG or bike start, so that shall be interesting. Although, note right here, Helpinghans at least is focusing a bit more on the right-hand side of the map, although his pioneers might look to be heading a bit more towards the west, or perhaps just securing towards the centre. And there we go, the first infantry squad out for Helpinghans. And we are seeing, in fact, Stephenn starting out with a jeep, hoping to harass and a bit obstruct initially, cause some problems for Hans's camping order, and they're in fact wiring off this area so Stephenn can't come sneaking in, that deceitful Aussie bastard. Of course not really, but you know, adds a bit of personality to things. Stephenn is himself actually a rather nice guy, though Australian. Anyways, victory point there being secured by quickly retreating in the face of the Volksguns, realizing he can't really do much with its light 30 caliber air-cooled machine gun, though rolling a bit up again to do a few more shots right here onto Volksguns. We do see a bike out second for Helpinghans, going to reinforce his Volksguns, going to give some firepower, and also going to make it hard, of course, for Stephenn to actually flank, because again the bike can spot much better. Stephenn needs to be a bit careful with the jeep. He could risk it going down there, go bike fighting. Volksguns getting off a few good hits there on the rear. Jeep already down to less than half health. Volksguns riflemen not adding into the fighting right here. Hans taking up position here behind the heavy coal. The bike does get a bit exposed, get a bit shot at. Engineers are quick to repair the jeep. Hans continues to wire off this area, making it harder for Stephenn to make a direct assault and get into cover quickly. Nicely done there by Hans, denying cover, though it is a pretty common move right here on Langres to either place wire here or here, depending on who you actually want to deny cover to. Munitions being secured there. Stephenn not quite controlling the vital strategic point, actually connecting the rest of the resource right here to him. Looks like he is shifting his focus a bit, going over towards the west, realizing he can't do much here. In fact, also cutting the wire that Hans's pioneers so thoughtfully had laid down. And there we go, another attempt about why Jeep quickly moves in, tries to get off a few good surprise shots, do a bit of extra damage. Volksguns actually working on something, plus in negative cover. Does a bit, but ultimately he needs to quickly get the devil out of there. At the same time, wire cut, rifleman ready, have already secured the high munitions. Second squad of riflemen out for Stephenn, JF. And there we go, opening up on the bike, rifleman. Oh, the Jeep's blocking the entrance in the barbed wire. Hey guys, I don't hope I'm in the way. Oh wait, I'm blocking my own troops. That's probably going to get me rather hated. Back at the barracks, if I ever make it that far. Got a bit of fighting right here. Going straight for the strategic point there again. Stephenn still not quite keen on going for a direct engagement with Hans. He's trying again to sort of hit other parts, trying to get territory and basically keep, you know, Hans a bit on the move and perhaps, you know, get a few off surprise shots. And there we go, Jeep quickly flying out, getting the MG42 in the rear. Nicely down there, rifle perhaps could follow up. And there we go, bike arriving, Stephenn being nice and aggressive and not just trying to bash Hans in the head with a helmet. There go, Volksguns moving in, forcing away the engineers. Riflemen looks like they might try to push us up here again, but note here how Hans has in fact wired off this area completely, which is rather, in fact, exposing Stephenn much more to movement out in the open. In fact, right there, he loses 2 men in the middle of the road. Negative cover, of course, nasty as always. Keep pulling away once more, but has done a bit of damage to Hans's MG crew, although he was able to quickly reinforce it at the Wehrmacht quarters. Stephenn, though, is not the type to give up that easily. Reinforcing going on, and looks like Stephenn's up to something here. What could Stephenn be up to? 3 riflemen squads, a jeep, and a weapon support. And it looks like he's going to get a sniper to support things up. He could also get a mortar or a machine gun, but you rarely see those, which is a bit of a shame in case of the mortar. Not really much use of a heavy machine gun right now for Stephenn as such. A mortar would help him a bit better to progress against the evil forces of Helpinghans. And there we go again, Rifleman sneaking up here, going to stretch out Hans's forces, force them a bit out of cover. And of course, also force them up to a bit easier targets. And there we go, looks like he could be able to overwhelm the Volksguns right there. Bike patrolling about, hoping to catch any of Stephenn's forces. And there we go, Volksguns making a run into the house. Already lost one man. The rest of the squad's down to half health. Bike pushing up there. And there we go, as everything's being pulled over towards the right-hand side. Stephenn pushed in for the left side. Nicely done. Flanking the Volksguns right there. Although needs to be careful, he might get panzerfausted by Hans. Down to 3 Volksgrenadiers. Nice progression right there for Hans. Stephenn, I mean. Nothing though right there at the moment though from the support weapons center. Or weapons support center. Rifle stopped right there. The MG42 putting a dastardly end to Stephenn's advantage on the left side. Right hand side though continues up. Although we do see Hans rushing forwards more forces to consolidate his position. Of course, reinforce the position by the house. Getting troops into the house. It's more Volksguns inside the house die. MG42 moving up. Flamethrower engineers moving up. If only he had a mortar. And there we go. All troops are evacuating the building. Heavy losses right there for Hans. And Stephenn could make a run for the building. There would be nothing currently for Hans to actually force his troops out there. Sniper on the way though. But that would be a bit too late. In fact, there we go. We are seeing Hans being forced away. Nice push right there from Stephenn. Good use of flamethrowers, maneuvering and everything else. Keeping Hans a bit unsure where the attack came until it was a bit too late. Lovely job. And also clearing up the wire here. That's also a good job. Will also allow him to actually use the cover. So good is arm-pited right there on Stephenn. And we are in fact seeing a mortar up. That could actually make an advance from Hans a bit more painful, difficult, if properly utilized by Stephenn of the 2nd Infantry Division. Bike here taking a bit of damage. German sniper, moving out, although we could see an American sniper from Stephenn, although he is going up for the supply. It could be he's going for something a bit more mechanized now. MG42 sitting up. Lots of mines going down from Helpinghans. That is definitely a good move. Going to make it harder for Stephenn to flank him, although looks like a line up there was cancelled. For whatever reason, Stephenn moving in, though, needs to be careful. Bike here heavily damaged. Rifle inside the barn, though, are quick to leave the premises. And the mortar here firing from behind the house, that could definitely prove to be quite advantageous. He might want to actually try and fire at the heavy machine gun if he's within range. And there we go, quickly into the house. Sniper fires away. Has he actually scored a kill? Yes, in fact, 3. There we go, nice hit on the MG. Stephenn causing a bit of consternation to Helpinghans, who's in fact been forced back. Oh, very close to getting the sniper right there with a mortar hit. That would definitely have been rather painful. Looks like Stephenn, though, is holding up positions, getting another squad into the house, letting the mortar continue to fire away, perhaps. I mean, right here would, for example, be a nice spot to fire, or there, just in case, Hans might be advancing again, break up the assault quickly. There we go, getting into the barn. Motor pool going up for Stephenn. Bike flanking, hoping to get that mortar. Verdammte Granatenwerfer. And there we go. Forcing the entire force away there with a nice Volksguns bike comp. Also note here, observation post on the field, so clearly Hans is intending to actually take up pretty quickly then. Go for something a bit heavier. Interesting approach. Normally you'd see the Tier 1 being extended in response to this, but Hans is actually using manpower just towards getting fuel even faster. In fact, there we go. Storm Armory up. A bit of a gamble. But I imagine he's then, instead of trying to, fight more with infantry, he's just going to quickly go for the armored cars and hopefully... Oh no! Stephenn cancelled his motor pool. He cancelled it. Oh no, he's likely going to get a sniper instead. Oh no. That's not going to help him. I mean, it's not game over for Stephenn, but it rather denied him perhaps one opportunity to actually put a stop to the rushing of the armoured cars. And could certainly prove to be a benefit right there for Helpinghans, if he can then probably leverage also not there the heavy cover to secure his troops while securing the point right there. Nice move by Hans, very nice. And actually note here, he's actually laying out smoke to protect his troops as they're advancing, ensuring they can't just be shot at so easily by sniper fire or any other sort of fire. Nicely done there by Stephenn. So rare you actually see smoke being utilized, but it's great to see when it actually happens. Of course, it's going to be even better in Company 2 because they will actually completely block off line of sight. It looks like Stephenn's actually mining in the smoke. Pioneers quickly rushed off. And again, detailing a smaller force up to the left side. Which also results in the Pioneers quickly getting rushed off. More smoke going down. Whoa. Stephenn seems to be rather fond of the smoke all of a sudden. Lovely work though. Lovely work nonetheless. Though I'm not entirely sure why he's deploying smoke right there. Maybe it's just to mess with Hans's head. And we're seeing airborne doctrine actually out for Stephenn, so he's perhaps relying on the airborne infantry to provide him with the anti-tank assets. And there we go. Helpinghans' armored car rolls out, sniper fires away. Blasts away with support of the sniper and the bike, and MG42 ensures as well. Protection force is going to have to flank. Stephenn sniper though getting a few kills as well. Panzerfaust. Oh, Stephenn was a bit too incautious there with the Jeep. Lost it to a Panzerfaust from the Volksgrenadier. Still, Hans doesn't actually have a lot of infantry at the moment. He might want to rectify that, though he's looking perhaps to just sort that out with armoured car goodness. Stephenn holding out there, and we do see the recoil vibes on the way, though it will be a bit before they are ready. Touch his shoot at the armoured car. MG42 setting up right there. And MG42 finding away at the airborne. Setting up there, securing. And there we go, Stephenn's mortar setting up a bit closer to the front line. There we go, MG crew getting sniped. Might the mortar get off a good hit? Nope. And there we go, recoil drives ready. Oh, miss. Second one though. Scores a direct hit on the armor, cutting down to almost half health. Bike going in after the sniper. Oh, mine. Minen takes out Helpinghans' bike. An unfortunate tragedy. Second armored car ready. Armored car advances. Oh, Stephenn retreats and... Oh, at the same time, Helpinghans' armored car hits the mine, gets destroyed, and you know, if he hadn't retreated, he might have been able to get it and completely wipe it out. That's a bit unfortunate, but I suppose can't be helped. Freshly mining right there in the gap in the fence. And quickly repairing the armoured car. So note here, Hans has actually quickly gotten themselves a minesweeper in preparation. That is good. Don't want to hit any more American mines. Hans quick to get an enabler up as well. And there we go, Stephenn is getting the tank depot. Perhaps opening for some tank destroyers to help deal with the armoured cars. So that should work nicely. Of course, a Sherman could also work alright. Slow advance from Stephenn. Hans not really holding a lot of the territory though at the current moment. Mostly holding out for the moment and more forced onto the defensive by Stephenn's aggressive tactics. And nice use of the mortar and such. Advancing. Oh, spotting the mines. The Minen. March was going to move in and sort it out. Will the airborne or the sniper for that matter be able to clear them out? That will work nicely. Oh, then the mine gets detonated. That's a bit unfortunate. And there we go, the first round from the Nebelwerfer firing its 6 105mm, or 50 millimeter rockets. Suppressing American troops. And allowing Hans to further advance. Although we do see a quick mortar round right there, putting a stop to one of Hans's Volksgrenadiers. Tank depot ready, just needing the manpower to actually get anything out of it. And we also do see a supplied upgrade, that is very good. So what will be next out for Hans? Looks like something from the Stuart Armory. And a bit of quiet actually. Probably because Stephenn is gathering up for a fresh counter-attack, waiting perhaps for a tank destroyer to add into things, and there we go. A tank destroyer, the M18 Hellcat. And aerial recon as well being prepared. And riflemen getting pushed away by those two armoured cars who were already veterans who won. Hans making slow gains. Hans does not feel to be in a rush, in particular since he's got almost 500 victory points, so one cannot blame him. No point in rushing if you can avoid it. For some of the time. Mines up there as well. Good, good. And a bunker. In fact, Hans continuing to lay down fresh mines in case again Stephenn does launch a fresh assault, in which case he can at least slow down Stephenn's assault. Stug waiting as well. Sturmgeschütz. And there you go, recon run coming in. Coming a bit under fire from the auto cannons. Oh, he got... Oh, Hans' sniper was a bit too careless and got shot through the head. Nice little move right there by Hans. Hans apparently not thinking about it. Oh, there's a reconnaissance move right there. Oh, doesn't that mean something perhaps if my opponent has a sniper? Nah. A bit of needle fire, a bit of mortar fire. Quickly firing. Oh, nasty losses right there to the Needlewerfer squad. Almost useless. Already enforced retreat. Hellcat rolling out, though needs to be careful. It is only one, and the Stug is also one. Rather depends if we can actually keep it on the flank. What is this? Goliath, though. Goliath! And... Oh, Stephenn! Oh, no. He might be making a mistake right here. I can't... Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Hellcat almost down. Rifleman score utterly murdered right there. Turned to a bloody pulp. Tank destroyer trying to get out of there. Rather close, rather close. Airborne moving in to intercept. Oh dear, the infantry is actually blocking the advance. Oh dear, Stug moves in and gets the kill. Rather unfortunate right there for Stephenn. Probably a misclick right there with the Goliath. I imagine he would actually have wanted to go away, but something happened, which is a bit unfortunate.
Eyes on me, infantry.
Bit unfortunate. And certainly will give Hans more time. But the loss of the tank destroyer and the rifleman squad like that is definitely not good news for Stephenn.
Paratroopers on point.
Quick push up the center and a quick counter barrage from Helpinghans to slow down Stephenn's advance once more. Armor cars also quick to react in the face of this, using the armor cars basically as a quick measure of stopping any harassment attempts by Stephenn, of course. They have quite a lot of mobility. Oh, Stephenn was trying to lay down smoke cover to protect, but was a bit too slow. Not quite fully coordinated. A bit of a shame, but again, nice to see that Stephenn continues to use smoke. But again, Stephenn is running into a bit of problems with his harassment due to the armoured cars, which of course can much more quickly deal with a smaller force, and that is rather what they excel at in later stages of the game. Then they're not really in a frontline combat unit, so in this case it rather seems to be forced. Oh, strafing run! Gets Needlewerfer and a nearby Fulton squad. Cheeky that. Cheeky that. Airborne moving up, sniper up as well. And mortar right here running into some problem. In fact, looks like Stephenn might lose it, which is a bit of a shame. Tank destroyer moving in. Needs to be careful though. There are Stugs. No longer singular, but plural. Stugs. Sturmgeschützen. So that is a bit unfortunate. Rather means Stephenn will definitely need more tank destroyers now. Or some proper support from the airborne with the recoilless rifles. American airborne infantry were not the only ones, by the way, to use recoilless rifles. The German paratroopers also at once, although they were considerably large. We're talking Panzerschreck size, and they actually needed some other bits to actually function, so they couldn't really be used as freely. But, you know, fun little fact. Stug Veterancy 2, by the way, that's a good move for Hans. Besides giving the MG Stugs and Stu 42 actually gain a health bonus at Veterancy 2. That's pretty nice. Troops reinforcing. Another recon run. Stephenn looking for targets of opportunity with a strafing run. Needlewerfer though has been recruited, and there we go, firing away. Airborne moving up. Might they be able to get it? I mean, a few dedicated shots right now could perhaps knock it out. Looks like he's not. Instead, he's rushing into the house there. Airborne getting one MG crew member. And largely looks like they're not focusing on the Needlewerfer, which I definitely think is a bit of a Mistake there by Stephenn. In fact, they're firing recoil rifles at the nearby MG42. Definite shame. I think they might have been able to get that Nebelwerfer. Hellcat, though, up here, coming up against a Stug. Hellcat also heavily damaged, so we probably should get out of there. Second one, though, quick to follow up. And now the airborne are moving in, going to try and see if they can't flank, but are simply getting suppressed by the nearby MG42 and are quickly forced off the field. A bit unfortunate right there for Stephenn, and it's actually time for the mid-game analysis and a switch to Helpinghans. Current situation for the two players, I mean, Stephenn had a nice good run, but the Goliath and a few other mistakes is rather costing him a bit of territory and of course a bit of men. Which does mean that Stephenn will need to rather reorganize and reconsider what he can do. I mean, Hans right now has a more stable armored force with a good pair of armored cars which can much quicker again deal with any sort of flank problems going in from Stephenn, and the Stugs now can also more handle a frontal assault even with infantry support due to their MGs. So again, things are a bit more trickier for Stephenn, but that does not mean it cannot be done. He should probably amass a few tank destroyers, of course. Currently, the Stugs are a bit more separate. If he gets aware of this, he can then try and deal with them one at a time and then pushing in for a greater assault. He might also want to consider actually getting a few anti-tank guns. That would be also a potential idea. Since he's airborne, he can easily airdrop them in and have them, deal with the Stugs and the armored cars with a few armor-piercing rounds, which again will do a lot of damage and will quickly take out armored cars and Stugs. Basically, a few shots will be needed. Hans, of course, more on the return, no longer doing so poorly. He might want at least another infantry squad. He could consider some stormtroopers equipped with Sturmgewehrs. Otherwise, I think he needs to. Well, he's already doing it. Secure up the left side, perhaps support with a single armored car in case there's a counter-attack going on from Stephenn. But otherwise, push up the center, try and hit the flanks here as well. I mean, currently, if Hans was actually to attack with the Stugs and an armored cars, he would probably tear through Stephenn, because Stephenn currently, again, he doesn't really have much of durability. He's got a few rifle, a few airborne, and a Hellcat, but nothing that can really, resist an armored assault, which is a bit unfortunate for him. Again, another reason to get the anti-tank guns, as they would make it more difficult for Hans to basically just push through with his Sturmgeschütz. But let's return to the fight, and let us see what happens. Which is in fact stormtroopers being equipped with assault rifles. Oh hey! Armored cars getting repaired by the repair pioneer. Stormtroopers up the flank. Stephenn making good advances again. Tanks are getting repaired. Second one ready. He could do with a bit more veterancy. In fact, he has none for his infantry at the moment. Sniper moves up and quickly gets the MD crew. Stormtroopers then cloak. Sniper veterancy too, but could get dealt with if the armor car gets close enough. Oh, there we go. Hellcat. No, anti-tank gun actually. Airborne dropped in anti-tank gun. Just as hoped for, thus giving Stephenn a bit more durability against any armored assault, which is again what the tank destroyers are a bit lacking in. And we could see that armor car's actually getting singled out. Might he get it? No, gets away. Stephenn might actually want to support his anti-tank guns. Tank destroyers with the anti-tank guns. Stormtroopers getting spotted and quickly run off. And we are seeing a recon run. Could we see a strafing run going in as well?
They're losing territory.
Does not look like it. Airborne taking up position in the house, getting overwatch and allowing to fire recoil rifles at any targets that get too close. And there we go, Stephenn making a good push. Anti-tank gun, tank destroys. Duke getting spotted right here. Can he get it all off? Armor-piercing rounds, come on, Stephenn. Armor-piercing rounds. Mine goes off, pinning the airborne. They could fire off and get into the barn. Tank destroy. Oh, Stephenn's using them like tanks. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Definitely not good, but looks like he's actually able to salvage it. Rather close fighting. Felsker is taking losses. Observation post within the range of fire of American troops. Will definitely cost Hans a vital point. And at the same time, the repair bunker is also coming under fire. Hans has been forced back into his base. Nebelwerfer though firing back in return in the hopes of throwing back Stephenn. And the Barney is coming in. But Barney, there goes strafing run, clearing out the Needlewerfer, clearing out the Stormtroopers. And they weren't even the target. I mean, he was basically also up to catch the troops. And they're like, ah, scheiß. We are invisible, not bulletproof. So that was actually a rather surprisingly effective strafing run right there, leaving the Stormtroopers a bit cloaked and wounded. And if there were any medics, they'd be like, could you scream a bit louder? I can't see you. You're too well camouflaged. Stu quickly advancing. Anti-tank gun a bit too unguarded. We do finally see some infantry veterans on the way for Helpinghans. Hellcat actually being sent off on its own. Perhaps aware of that armoured car through other troops being run off and now going to deal with it. And there we go, we do see Hans pushing up the right flank with the Stu running straight into the anti-tank and first shot bounces off. Will there be armor-piercing rounds from it? Armor Colt arriving. There we go, nice hit. That probably was armor-piercing rounds since it came down to pretty much half health. At the same time, armor car getting handed up by a Hellcat right there. Other one getting repaired. Might want to move up support. Needlewerfer fire. And, oh, looks like the armor car escapes. Stephenn quickly retreats. And he also pulls back that anti-tank gun to something slightly more defensible. Second squad of airborne for Stephenn, by the way. He might consider getting more recall his rounds. I mean, also consider since he's got airborne actors to get some observation post up on that. Anti-tank gun moving in. Dangerous situation for the armor car. Hellcat also arrives. Needs to flank. There we go. Also one moving in. Again, flank. Don't stay in front of the Stug. Oh dear, getting cut up. Panzerfaust. No, he's getting in front of it. Oh dear, Stephenn. What a shame, and he might not even get the Stug with the other one. Oh dear, that was a bit of an unfortunate assault right there from Stephenn. Slight mismaneuvering right there on the Hellcats. And the airborne getting shredded on their assault. It's now running, covering fire. Stormtroopers simply advance. Coming under fire. Bundle grenade on the anti-tank gun. Armor car quick to rush in. Hellcat though continuing to provide support with fire. Nearby engineers might also provide a bit. Trying to go here for the cutoff point. A bold and brazen move by Stephenn, but not quite working out. And he sends in the sniper. Uncloaked Stug does not hit. And we see another anti-tank gun being called in. I think Stephenn is going utterly on the aggressive. He seems to have just gotten the taste of blood. And he wants more. But at the same time, he's getting a bit exposed. He's making a direct assault on Hans' base. And his Hellcat is not up for it, and there we go. And now there's absolutely nothing shielding the anti-tank, and he's also further forward, including the one he just dropped down. Stephenn might have overextended. He overreached, I fear. And now Hans is punishing him with the Volksgrenadiers, clearing out his anti-tank guns. Very bad news right there for Stephenn. I don't think he should have pushed that much forward without infantry support. Instead, he ended up losing an anti-tank gun and his remaining Hellcat. And which could in fact give Hans the decisive advantage, since, well, Hans really hasn't lost so much. He's lost a single Stug, but he's still got the other one, and he's got 2 armoured cars and Stormtroopers and a Needlewerfer, which continues to really elude him. Its total destruction is still an enigma for Stephenn to solve. And until then, he will continue to suffer under its vengeful rocket barrages. Airborne moving in. Stormtroopers coming under intense fire from the airborne troops. Armor coming in, quickly dropping a rifleman. And there are no anti-tank guns for Stephenn to use. The one that is there is being pulled back for healing by the looks of it. Grenade on the MG-42s. Other airborne units are simply getting shredded by the intense armor car fire and the MG fire. And there we go. Looks like Stephenn's front line, which he had so pushed forwards, is simply shredded again. He was unable to properly hold it after that last maneuver. He simply got too greedy, I fear. And we might see another rifle squad get cut down the retreat by autocannon fire. And Veterans 2 on the way, actually. And the engineers here seem to have been forgotten by Stephenn, which is definitely a shame because the flamethrowers might have helped at the front line, and of course the minesweepers could have basically been laying down mines again, making it harder for Hans to advance. Either did not really happen, and ultimately Hans was able to reorganize and of course push through. But a good unit composition right now. Hans has a few assault guns, well, one assault gun, some armored cars, a Nebelwerfer and some infantry, basically giving him things that can handle all sorts of things. And of course the stormtroopers with assault rifles and Panzerschrecks will definitely also provide him with quite the ace up his sleeve. Anti-tank gun ready again, rushing forwards. And victory points are ticking down for Stephenn and the 2nd Infantry Division, despite its support from the 101st Airborne. The ammo is ours. Sturmtruppen report. Pioneers getting blasted. And once more we hear the Nebelwerfer howling. And Veteran 3 for the armored cars. Interesting, of course, it gives the armored cars a damage bonus, and I suspect that is what Hans is actually going for. And there we go, elite vehicles. Volksgrenadiers rush off the riflemen from the west. But a few stormtroopers move up there. Stephenn forces are severely depleted and looks like he's opting for supply drops to help him out. And there we go, assault, blitz, assault from Hans quickly stops the American from wiping out his stormtroopers and gives them time to escape. Grenade right there. Oh, close to taking out the Volksgrenadiers, but the MG-42 lays down a heavy carpet of fire, stopping the airborne. But they actually continue up, they rush up, and ultimately though they get pushed away as the auto cannons unleash all kinds of hell. And the stormtroopers quickly follow up in their wake. Another repair bunker up, and nicely done there, and there we go. Anti-tank and exposed engineers trying to cover, but they can't really do much fighting over here. The Volksgrenadiers versus the riflemen. The Volksgrenadiers could easily get off a few blitz grenades, but no, a grenade instead goes in for the riflemen, and we see a retreat from Helpinghans. And there we go, the stormtroopers overwhelming the engineers and the anti-tank and crew. Definitely an unpleasant experience for Stephenn, who had so much but barely has anything now. And a nice comeback right there from Helpinghans. And that Nebelwerfer just continues firing. Interestingly enough, he's not gone for any support veterans, you know, to make it fire faster and do more damage, which is actually quite interesting. I would have imagined that, rather than, say, for example, the armored cars, but there you go. There are more than one way to play Company of Heroes, which is what makes it a good game, amongst other things. There goes Stormtroopers advancing, MD-42 setting up, airborne moving in there again, lots of recoilless rifles. Stephenn seems to have been betting a lot of those recoilless rifles, but rather they haven't really come through for him, which is a bit of a shame. He probably would have done better if he'd actually gone for a lot of Rangers then, and equipped with the submachine guns and bazookas, and just, you know, probably had more accuracy and such. But on the other hand, the recoilless rifles are much better against German armor, since they're pretty much guaranteed to penetrate. And there we go, the Stormtroopers snuck up on the anti-tank gun, quickly dealing with it. A nasty move there by Hans, but excellently conducted. Though Stephenn is quick to recruit it and quick to push forward again. And supportive with riflemen, although there's Volksgrenadiers and Stormtroopers right here on the flank, which could really do a lot of damage to the nearby supporting troops. And a fresh Nebelwerfer barrage threatens to wipe out the progress Stephenn is making in a single grim stroke. And looks like a recon run. He might be going for a last strafing run in the hopes of clearing things out, or a bombing run perhaps. Bundle grenade takes out most of the airborne. The infantry simply getting blasted to bits. The anti-tank and once more empty. and alone. And a strafing run here did not succeed in doing much for Stephenn's cause, I fear. And there we go, GG from Stephenn. GG, and a GG from Hans. And Stephenn seems convinced that the Goliath got it, and there we go, he misclicked. Which can, of course, happen, and of course is not really fun. But I don't think it was that single Goliath who won him. I mean, Stephenn still had a chance after that, but there were a few mistakes. Again, he probably shouldn't have pushed here, or rather wasted a lot of good forces, plus the prior engagement with the two Hellcats against Duke really was not in his favour. Had that perhaps gone a bit better, I think he could have won against Hans. Well, that, and perhaps, he'd also, been mining a bit more aggressive with his engineers later on. I mean, he had a really good early game. Mid-game, those where the reversal came, as he made a few mistakes. Hans got off that really good Goliath, and then things rather slowly went downhill for Stephenn, which is a bit unfortunate again, but great use of smoke, good use of mines, good use of barbed wire by Hans, and of course the armor cars really turned out to be a good linchpin in denying, Stephenn's harassment, not his own harassment, but Stephenn's harassment by, of course, being quickly able to react and lock it down, which would have forced Stephenn to properly support it with something bigger to actually throw back the armored car. But, good use of the Needlewerfer, and the Needlewerfer definitely also proved critical and really causing Stephenn a lot of problems. And, he constantly called in strafing runs. He's certainly also able to do a lot of damage. In fact, Hans got a second Needlewerfer. Fun, but there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned a bit from it. If you did, why not subscribe? Tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers. And, of course, feel free to comment.